lights are out, you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong.
Welcome to the Racers Elite Super Speedway Series, and Matt, welcome to the booth, buddy.
Alan, great to be back up here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. And hey, we're pulling out the race car that made the golden era famous. That's right, the Gen 4. We're dialing up the horsepower and the speed as well that comes with this beautiful piece of machinery out there. The weather is perfect. These drivers are poised and primed, ready to rock and roll as we're here in Earnhardt country, as you mentioned, Talladega, Alabama, bud.
Oh, yeah, we're going to throw it back here. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It's Friday night Lights, Friday night Super Speedway Series. Your boy Alan Bergen, Matt Metler, just out to St. Louis, Missouri here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. You guys call it a booth, I call it a studio. I don't know what but nonetheless, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna go, 75 laps around this Talladega Super Speedway. But without further ado, while these guys are getting ready to go here, let's go over your starting grid real quick. With Chris Melton taking the pole in this one. Greg McConey, our good buddy Greg McConey, Matt, is going to be on his outside. In row number 3, Terry Fennell is going to start third. In row number 2, rather, and he's going to be flanked by Chase Greer. In row number 3 is going to be Brandon Honeycutt, and Tuesday through Thursday night specialist Colonel Kirby Wainscott will be on his outside. Row number 4 is going to be Hugh Escobar, and to his outside is going to be Trevor McGee. Pete Poloni will start on the inside of row number 5, with Chris Blasi starting on the outside. And row number 6 is going to be Hudson, Illinois' very own Rowan Lloyd, with Truth Hoke starting to his outside. As we're going to go a little bit deeper in the field, here starting 13th will be the Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here throughout the whole Racers Elite family racing. It's Andrew Tuft to the outside out of Boone, North Carolina. That's going to be Troy Thomas. Starting 15th and riding shotgun on the field will be Stephen Hines. And having an out-of-body experience here this evening is Mr. Matt Metler, who just happens to be trying to Fred Flintstone it and not be in two places at once. But here we go, Matt. That's showtime. Right.
It's showtime in prime time. The nighttime is the right time for Racers Elite, as you said, in prime time. 15 drivers ready to take the green flag. I like the strategery here. You got some of the faster drivers up towards the front. You mentioned Greg McConey. I look for that 12 to be strong. And you also have a lot of talent starting deeper in this field. Look for the 55 of True Coth, who, oh my God, I can't talk, rolls off 12th. Troy Thomas in the legendary Earnhardt Good Wrench machine. He better have a good night if he pulls out that paint scheme. That's almost biblical at this racetrack. Andrew Taft also starts deep in the fields. And as you mentioned, Hines is going to start shotgun here. Is his field now racked and stacked behind this iRacing.com pace car. And Alan, it is only going to turn up from here as we get ready to go green flag racing around this 2.66 super speedway here in Talladega, Alabama.
I got a crazy stat for you, Matt. The last time that me and you called a race at Talladega with Racers Elite, it went green to checker.
That's right. It was mean and green all the way. I remember. That was a great race, too. Hopefully these drivers have another thriller in store as we now come off at turn 4. That pace car is going to make that turn down pit road. And we get ready to... It's all me?
It's all you.
All right. We get ready to drop the hammer here. Taking a look at Barney in the flag stand. He's got the green flag in the air. We've now approached the Geico restart zone. Melton and McConey going to share the front row. Green flag in the air. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing here at Talladega, boys.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I love it. While these drivers are already starting to really love it. They're on the high side of the racetrack. That train is coming. As we're climbing up through the H pattern here for the first time. No surprise, Greg McConey takes an early lead here. Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies as we come through the turns 1 and 2 complex and fire down the backstretch for the first time. Alan already looking to go 3 wide. Someone's trying to come up the sucker hole already.
That's a bad hole to get trapped into. And there's a couple of guys that have certainly need a little bit of help here. And I don't know. I don't like making it 3 wide before it's time to make it 3 wide.
Well, I'll tell you what, one guy that does not mind going up the middle, that is the 13 of Brandon Honeycutt. He's very aggressive on these plate tracks, and I love the way that he attacks these races. But hopefully, in the middle, he doesn't become honey bunches of oats, as that 11 is going to turn it down to the low side of the racetrack. However, he's got no help on the bottom. He's going to have to wait for the 50 machine of Fennel to get up to him now as that low line tries to reorganize.
Yeah, Chris Melton leading this pack right now. And, you know, these Gen 4 cars, this is the generation before we got the car tomorrow. This is this is your Monte Carlo, if you will, your SS's. So this is before the car tomorrow, and this is one of the few mistakes that iRacing had made that everybody just happened to love.
Oh, that was one of the best stories, how they accidentally turned up the power in the ARCA car, which ultimately led to a huge uproar from all of us oval racers on the iRacing circuit. And voila, the Gen 4 was reborn, and I agree with you, Alan, 100%, as we're racked and stacked up here at the front. The 95 Cheetos machine, that's going to be Chase Greer. He's working the low line as you got 3 drivers on the bottom going up against. Where did Truth Hope come from? That didn't take him long. He is the biggest mover up of the race in the 55 ride, all the way up to 4th, and he is pushing hard all over the back of that 12.
Absolutely. And there I go. I said John's favorite word, absolutely. But nonetheless, here we are, lap 3 of the 75 that are to be ran here tonight. And look, Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here in my house, but she would say, send me the link, but she already hears the broadcast. She's right above me.
Well, hey, you know, as much broadcasting as you do, Alan, for SRM, and I'll tell you what, certainly appreciate everything you do behind the scenes and in the broadcast booth. And how about this? Look at the nitrous cowboy, Truth Hoke, in that Goodwrench 3 machine. He's trying to get up there, ledge onto the back of that train on the high side of the racetrack. He's already up a handful of positions as well. He's coming to the front early.
Yeah, give Truth Hoke 8 positions to the good. And right now, another guy, Truth Hoke, is actually 9 positions up there in that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Truth Hoke has literally came from the back of this piece all the way to the front. I thought maybe he was going to hang out in the back and perhaps wait for the big one, but he decided not. He's dropping the hammer and utilizing all the speed they have in this Gen 4 car. And I'll tell you what, Alan, since they updated the front nose on this car, you can push a little bit better with it. You still have to be cautious, but at least now you can do some bump drafting. And these are going to be some of the fastest speeds we're going to see out here with this restrictor plate. And these cars are going to be going over 200 miles an hour at times, and you can already see that reflected in the lap times. Last time by, your leader, Christopher Melton, a 48.38. I mean, and some of these drivers have already busted in to the 47-second barrier, like the driver that just turned the fastest lap of the race, Kirby Wainscott, back in 12th, as we now go on board with your leader, looking out the back door camera, getting a face full of Brandon Honeycutt in that number 13 machine.
I love the fact that these guys get real creative. There's a nice little bump. And, you know, make these Chevrolet SSs look like the Fords and the Toyotas of yesteryears. And, you know, it's great that iRacing has come out with these older vehicles, because then you can actually race the cars that you grew up watching, and you can even go back into time also and like, you know, basically race the 80s, the 80s style NASCAR Cup cars and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about the 90s and when I was growing up, this Twisted Sister car, this is what you go back to, one of the icons of the sport. And in fact, it's a big change going from this to the current car, the next gen. So I'm going to look for some of the drivers, some of the veteran drivers to shine tonight. Oh, is that got up close and personal? The 49 of Melton just came up and almost poked Hope there, and he's getting out of there. He didn't like any of that, as he's now getting side drafted there by the 13. Truth Hoke had a big time, probably Code Brown moment there, as he's going to try to slip back here, as that was almost the big one. The 11's trying to figure out now who he wants to go with. He had a little bit of a split decision there if he wanted to go to the top side with the 55 or with the Cheetos machine, the 95, who's kind of splitting the difference as we're 3 wide. Oh, there's the contact into the wall. I just invoked the broadcaster's curse on Truth Hope.
We didn't even go on board with nobody. We didn't even go on board with nobody.
Not yet, but I'm telling you. Like Star Wars, they say the Force is strong with you. I have the broadcaster's curse probably worse than anybody. I just mentioned Truth, and he simultaneously catches a piece of the fence.
Well, what? We can't do that on Sunday nights.
No, I mean, that's why some of the drivers we cover the most, I'll say their car number. I won't say their name. I mean, you can ask Dave Regal 3 or 4 weeks ago. I KO'd 4 drivers the minute I even mentioned their name.
Yes, you did.
I think you were watching that broadcast. Ooh, that got a little dicey there. Crossover maneuver there from the 48, trying to come up and give the 12 of McConey a bump. And that's definitely how you don't want a bump draft. But I talked about these veteran drivers, perhaps shining tonight. And look who's out there leading. Greg McConey up there playing both those lines, doing it beautifully. That Reese's machine also now going to work up the bottom. Andrew Teft coming towards the front as well, as he's flying those Paul Menard's colors in that 98 machine. He is now up in that second place position on the bottom.
I mean, Tuesday night, I was about as red as, red could be, but nonetheless, Tuesday night we ran I hopped in the truck. I strapped on the old fire suit, and I had a cheering section for half of a race, which is nice because I know I got fans, but nonetheless.
The hell an experience.
Hey, look, I'm always an experience.
This is true. This is true, buddy.
Don't forget, next Sunday. You know what, Matt? Here's the thing: is the SRM guys are gonna go on a trip. They're leaving me and you the keys to this joint.
Yeah, I don't know what John was thinking, but
I mean,
it may need a couple repairs when they come back. But hey, we're gonna have fun while they're actually down here in my neck of the woods. We'll hold the fort down. Oh, you see him doing the crazy train, the Indy Snake up there on the top side of the racetrack. You can see just how much confidence McConey has in this Gen 4 car. I mean, he knows how to get that big run using the side draft. That's what he does. No help, no problem. He's going to send it all the way down to the bottom with that huge run and try to challenge for the lead. It was almost able to do that without no help. Now comes the 72 and the rest of the guys on the bottom. A big-time shove, though, from Honeycutt, pushing the back of that 49 as Christopher Melton continues to lead.
Here's the thing about Greg McConey. Greg McConey is a smart racer. Put him on a 2.5 mile Superspeedway, a 1.5 mile oval. He's going to coach you the whole time. He may be racing, but he's coaching these guys. He's telling guys like Hugh Escobar, go this way, go that way, go high, go low. He's a coach, and if you listen, a lot of these guys listen to him, he's going to improve half this field in the 75 laps.
Yeah, and I've had the benefit of being in these races inside the Discord chat and learned a couple things from him, and you're absolutely right. He's always thinking ahead, trying to get a strategy put together, understands where the speed is on the racetrack, what cars are grouped together was going to translate to the speed department, and he always has a keen sense of where to put that 12 machine out there in competition. I agree with you 100%. But how about Chris Melton in that 49 machine? Started off on the pole here, and we always talk about the lead changes here at Talladega, especially in this Gen 4 car. But I'll tell you what, he has had the hot hand in town since the drop of the green flag. Is now he gets a challenge from McConey, and that Reese's car comes up and takes a big-time side draft off of Honeycutt as they come through the tri-oval.
Through the tri-oval 2x2, doing it Noah's Ark style. Do of everything. Need an arc? I know it, guy. Here comes Chris Melton. He's gonna bring Brendan Honeycutt and Richard Greer with him with that Cheetos Flamin' Hot car. And here comes Troy Thomas working that outside lane too.
Yeah, Troy Thomas, the nitrous cowboy there, up 8 positions in that 6th place position. And remember, he started back in the woods.
Oh Andrew
my.
Taft. Go to the extreme inside.
I am sorry. My cat just pulled a Tony Trapasso special and is currently KOing the broadcast, so just bear with me a moment here. Oh, Tony's watching. Tony's watching tonight. Oh. What did you feed that cat?
I'm flipping this.
Oh. I can't breathe. As Christopher Melton holds on to the high side of the racetrack. Apparently the code brown happened right here in the broadcast booth. Big time move there from the Highland to the bottom goes the 60 runner Rowan Lloyd. Oh, this cat. Oh. Tony, I love you, buddy. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Oh, look at that. That 98 of Andrew Teft. He thought about hanging the Reese's machine out to dry there as he poked a nose underneath him. Alan, I'll give you a moment to recover, man. I tell you what, my eyes are burning, and I have tears in my eyes. It looks like I'm crying. It's so bad over here.
Dave Regal breaks me on a Sunday night. Matt Metler's cat breaks me on a Friday night. But nonetheless, here we are, just killing it.
Oh, it's being killed, all right.
My wife wants to know if it's a good idea leaving us two in charge. Hey, what could go wrong?
I got a million things I can tell you about right now.
Here comes Trey McConey down the back straightaway. He's going to be in the middle. And Chris Melton's going to be on the top shelf for Mama Hides the Cookies. Oh, this could be bad. This could be really, really bad.
Yeah, this is not going to be good. I mean, you got the 3 lanes of traffic right now, and that Mountain Dew machine has no help. Great job of the 50. Terry getting out of the way. Great situational awareness of these drivers out there on the racetrack. Oh, he catches a piece of the fence.
That's okay.
Actually, we got 2 Mountain Dew cars out there. The Dew crew out there on the racetrack, so we got to take a note of that, Alan, as it's business as usual up here at the front. And I'll tell you what, one of these drivers that's really rowdy, that looks like they want to lead, is Braden Honeycutt there in that TRD-powered Camry. As he is pushing all over the back of Melton. He is getting up close and personal, the business end of that Gen 4 car just in front of him.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go. You know, and we're here in lap number 18, and Chris Melton's killing it right now.
Melton, I mean, he is carrying the torch out there right now, looking like the Intimidator of old. Now, I know they also have that Good Wrench paint scheme up there on the high line of the racetrack as well. Another driver to keep an eye on there, Troy Thomas. He's in that 7th place position, up 7 spots from where he started. Thank him for your pick 3 lottery numbers tonight. If you should win, 25% goes to the driver. And I'll tell you what, McConey does not like riding in line right now. Anytime there's a little bit of space that opens up in that middle lane, he's trying to get the 13 to go with him. He's trying to poke out there like Tony Stewart and Dale Jr. used to do it back in the early 2000s. And I don't think McConey's ready to go into the middle just yet. Very well-oriented, very smart driver inside the cockpit of that 12. But there's a lot of speed on the high side. There's the 13 going to the outside. McConey tried to go with him, melting through the block.
Yeah, and then here comes Escobar. Hugh Escobar on the inside line. He's going to try to lead a lap here. And just checking in here on the MLB scores today. And, you know, so far the Yankees are leading the Guardians at the top of the 4. And New York leads that series 2-1. 2 games to 1. Now, LA is up 3 games to 2 over the Mets. The Mets winning today with a final of 12-6. And Matt, I am secretly, you know, as much as I don't like the Mets, I would love to see another Subway Series.
As you're talking about a Subway Series, the 13 and the 49 just kicked in the afterburner down the backstretch there. They had a head of steam. They were going over 207 miles an hour, according to timing and scoring. Those two cars just lit a lap. Look at the lap time they just turned. I mean, those guys were flying. As now the top side comes back to them. As, you know, one of these things with this car, when you do lock bumpers, I mean, the temps do tend to climb up rather quickly. And the reason why the 13 and the 49 there are melting separated. But I'll tell you what, chasing that 95 Spicy Cheetos machine, he is keeping them honest as he continues to run in that 3rd place on the top shelf of the racetrack. Here comes Andrew Teff feeling dicey. He's going to split the gap. He's coming up the middle.
Andrew Teff is one of those drivers, if you can get behind him, he'll take you to the front. Who's going to let Andrew Teff take them to the promised land? Gosh.
Yeah, Andrew Teff just threaded his own hole right through those group of race cars. He kind of inadvertently jousted the 49 and the 13, a honeycut there to the high side. And now the 95 is going to go with him. So it's okay to 3-way here at the front at Talladega.
Here comes that number 3 car.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time before Troy throws his hat into the ring. He's got the right paint scheme on that race car too. I'm pretty sure that's no, I take that back. It's missing the red, the red color on the skirting on that car, but very similar to when Earnhardt Sr. got his final win here at Talladega back in the fall race in the year 2000, if I remember correctly.
Yep. You know who pushed him to that one?
Kenny Wallace.
You're correct.
If I remember, it was Kenny Wallace in the Square D car.
Yes. The number 55 Square D car. How cool would it be to see Trudeau push Troy Thomas to win here tonight?
I'll tell you what. I'll give you, if that happens, I'll give you credit for that one. But if that's the case, Hollywood couldn't script that any better. That we just so happen to have a 55 and a 3 car in the field.
18th to 1st that day. And, you know, that just goes to show you that Earnhardt did this better than anybody. And
yeah, it was just incredible to watch, you know, growing up and watching Senior, especially out here in this Gen 4 car on the super speedways. He had something else the other drivers just didn't have. He had that extra mojo, you know, dark voodoo, whatever you want to call it. I mean, he was just able to do things with the race car on these types of racetracks that just no other driver could really mimic or recreate. And that's part of the reason why he became my favorite driver. The first race I ever watched was the 1993 Daytona 500, which was coined the Dale and Dale show between Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt. He finished runner-up that day, but still, that was enough for me to make me a fan of that Goodwrench Chevrolet, who now is up to 2nd place in that outside lane. Troy Thomas starting to give that car the biscuits. He's coming to the front.
Oh, yes, here we go. Chris Melton, Brandon Honeycutt, split in the middle. Is Hugh Escobar going to jump? Whoa. Easy,
Oh,
boy.
God.
Easy, big fella. Oh, God.
They're
Oh, God.
still, oh my. Heavens to Betsy, Lord, please save us all.
Oh.
I mean, did you see how many cars had to move out of the way to prevent the big one from popping off right there?
I mean,
what a great job by all those drivers. I thought that had disaster written over it, all over it. And the big one doesn't happen. I mean, this all going on, with these cars at times just mere millimeters apart from one another, and at speeds over 200 miles an hour, that dirty, turbulent air. And, for these guys to be able to keep it lean and green right there, that's incredible. As we're starting to string out a little bit here, that 55 at Truth Hoke, I think that's the second time he saw a little more than he probably wanted to. And now he's going to drop back out of the hornet's nest a little bit, come down to the low side of the racetrack and slot in there around that 8th place position, Alan.
well, I tell you what, speaking of truth, there's Rowan Lloyd right behind him out of Hudson, Illinois, in that number 61 car. I feel so bad for Rowan sometimes because, especially on Tuesday night, he got to hear one of my famous rants on the Superspeedway.
I'll tell you what, Rowan Lloyd and I put together a beautiful race the past season in the Superspeedway series. I think I either pushed him to a win or a second place finish. And green flag pit stops, when we cycled out of the pits, we were probably 6.5 seconds off the lead pace. And I was able to work with him and just push the bejesus out of him. And we were able to catch the front pack with 2 laps to go. And I'll tell you what, when it's clutch, do not count out Rowan Lloyd. He knows how to get it done here on those plate tracks as well. He just needs a little lady luck on his side. And I'll tell you what, speaking of luck, I mean, nothing better when you look in your rear view mirror, buddy, and you see Greg McConey right behind you.
Yeah, and, here's the thing, is I guarantee you right now, Greg McConey is in Rowan's ear saying, just stay where you're at, be patient. Greg McConey has that great situational awareness and that great track awareness. And, he's coaching him along. He's coaching Rowan along. But, going back to Tuesday night, Rowan got to hear Spicy Alan, not Broadcast Alan. He's like, oh, this is competitive Alan. This ain't Broadcast Alan no more.
Yeah, when Alan flips that switch, look out.
Yeah. But Alan's fun up in the booth. But when he's in the car and bad things happen, Alan is, he should probably go see a therapist.
Yeah, it's like a Keebler elf that got demoted to fudge packer at times.
I mean, you're not wrong. Meanwhile,
either that or you ate a couple of Carolina Reapers before you strapped the headset on.
I get heartburn real bad. My wife goes, bless her heart, 10 years married here on next Friday. Next Friday, 10 years married. 10 years, I love her to death. And, we, 2014 we got married, and next Friday night is our, so that's why I won't be joining the guys in Miami. However, the next time around I get to go. And Jonathan Leach has been trying to work on me to get her to go. He's like, you just bring her down here. I said, John, it's our 10th wedding anniversary, but next year she's putting me on the first plane she could get.
Yeah, you know what? And that's the types of things that you have to do to keep marriages successful, especially for 10 years. That's something I could never do. And that's what you call give and take right there. You sticking around for your wife this time, obviously it's a marquee moment for you guys. But like you said, next year, she's going to be the first one hooking you up with airfare to come down. Or, word on the street is perhaps it's Las Vegas or somewhere else next year. But the key takeaway is you're going, buddy.
Well, she done told me if we're going to Vegas, she's going to Vegas.
There you go. It's a package deal.
It is. But nonetheless,
Alan accidentally sits down at the high stakes tables his first go around.
I'm going to put it all on black. Here we are watching Roman Lloyd, who's up 3 spots, and he's got Trevor McGee and Greg McConey right behind him. Truth Oakday out of Boone, North Carolina. And it looks like we're going to start seeing pit stops happen real soon. And
yeah, it looks like Melton, the 49 and another car came down pit road, and I was just going to say, we were getting single file. Oh, somebody!
Whoa, hello. You can't park there.
Hey, we're having a jamboree in the grass. Something big went down on pit road entry. See some damage to the front valance of that race car there.
Pete Poloni.
Pete Poloni pounded somebody.
Let's see if we can't go back and maybe watch that.
Yeah, something went
Here we go.
way wrong there. Here we go.
So now we're going to cut down pit road. And 3, 2, 1, cue the spin.
He takes the commitment code and goes John Deere mode. He gets it back on to the racing surface, though. Not seeing where the damage came from there, but nonetheless, it got festive. They were having a jamboree out there in the infield. Hey, sometimes you got to go all the way.
Go big or go home, right?
Go big or go home.
As we bring it out to the live picture, wholesale pit stops getting ready to start here. Well, not getting ready to start. Are starting is Brendan Honeycutt, Chris Melton, and Hugh Escobar essentially have control of the field right now. As when these guys come back around, Chris Melton out there all alone, not in a good spot where you want to be at.
No, you are bleeding time right now. The same for Honeycutt. He is out there all by himself. There's the Menards machine getting back up to speed. And you got to have a battle buddy. You want to have friends out there on the racetrack. That is critical because you lose so much time out there by yourself. The good news is the 90. Did you see that? Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Honeycutt just got took into breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I have a thing, but we'll just keep it to myself. I mean, look, if Brendan Honeycutt's going to get done like that, at least take him out to dinner first.
I mean, he just got shot out of the honey hole. That clearly somebody did. I don't want to drop names here right now, but there's no way that they knew that Honeycutt was there because, I mean, they just shot right up in front of him. I mean, I thought he was going to take Honeycutt out. I mean, he took him all the way up to the top of the fishbowl there. He got a piece of the wall. You see the damage now on that Camry.
That's going to spell bad news.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not sure how much performance it's going to dial out of that 13. But, he just comes up and gives the 49 a shot.
I'm sure there's going to be some post-race conversation ahead. So
Yeah,
he's gonna be talking to someone. They're not gonna be exchanging recipes anytime soon.
Yeah, I have to believe that was just an error. I mean, because any other way you look at it, that almost looked malicious the way that happened if it wasn't an error and a mistake. And I believe wholeheartedly it was. You had cars just coming off of pit road onto pit road. And I think he was pulling out a line there to overtake and just didn't realize, hey, Honeycutt's here in the 13 coming with a head of steam. 95 there is going to split the difference there. He's going to poke his nose in between the 98. And I believe that's the Taco Bell machine. Is that Wayne Scott changing colors?
Yeah, Kirby Wayne Scott got fired by KOC.
He got demoted from the colonel, huh?
Well, look, he's still going to be the colonel until they figure out another name for him. But at any rate,
well, hopefully he's not eating refried beans inside the cockpit of that race car.
God. Talk about a tide stay in your ride moment. Jeez.
Yep. We haven't had that yet. That was almost the one with Honeycutt there, but something tells me there's going to be Little more fireworks before the end of this one. Alan, and don't look now, we're already 36 laps into the scheduled 75. That's the distance here at Talladega tonight. However, we do have the ace up our sleeve. We got that joker, a.k.a. overtime, should we need it, to do everything we can to end this race under green flag conditions. Pit stops complete, and here we go. Back again, side-by-side action at the front of this field as Melton continues to put up, I mean, I'm going to say it, a dominating performance thus far here in the early going.
I'm going to also, right now we're going to take another look at our weather. So far it's 82 degrees here in Lincoln, Alabama, with a 32% relative humidity. And Dave, or not Dave, but Matt, you can almost, I called you Dave. You know what, you get to be Dave next week, okay? But anyways, 117 degree track temperature, almost to the point where you can boil an egg.
Yeah, don't let that ambient air temperature fool you. It's only 82 degrees, but that track temp is scorching right now. In fact, top of the hour, or I should say top of the broadcast here when they were still in qualifying, was actually around 125 degrees. The good news is this place really isn't notorious for killing those Dr. Feelgoods out there, but still, that can certainly make this car a little slick, especially when you get some laps on those Goodyear Eagles, especially when you start pushing out there on the racetrack, something those drivers have to remember in the back of their mind. If there's not enough they're already trying to pay attention to out there on the racetrack, is we got a John Force special here going. Oh, the 50's up in the fence.
Terry Fennell up into the fence. Please stay green, as James Essex would say. And Matt, speaking of, so today the Lucas Oil, the 2025 Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series schedule was released. And as you know, I got to spend a little bit of time going to various racing establishments throughout the Midwest. And I'm starting to put together a schedule for next season, which will essentially 99.9% chance take me to Pennsylvania, which would be the furthest I will travel to go see a dirt race.
Well, now we know your limits. I guess we can check the box on that one.
I mean, but, here's the thing. It's cool to get to the tracks that you see on iRacing.
For sure.
And, I had the pleasure of getting credentials to the 2024 Dirt Late Model Knoxville Nationals with the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series. And, I may make my way to Florida sooner than later, as I'm trying to talk to Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here in the Bergen household to I'm trying to talk her into going to Volusia for the Sunshine Nationals. Now, if I do that, you may have to make the trip up to Volusia.
Volusia County?
Yes. I don't think it's that far for you.
It's not. It's not very far at all, actually. Given that time of the year, I'm very confident knowing I can make that happen, buddy. Speaking of making things happen, not to change the subject, but the 49 of the 13 are teamed up again, and they're coming to the front like a lightning bolt. The 49 is already side by side with the 95 Spicy Cheetos machine, and they hit the afterburner again with the assist from McCody and company. In fact, McCody's going to turn it to the high side of the racetrack in that third lane, and he's got the Nitrous Cowboy with him.
This is almost like watching magic happen. Do you believe in magic? Because you're about to see it. Nonetheless, here we go. Spicy Cheetos in Menards. Well, guess what? We're going to make the Cheetos even spicier with Colonel Kirby Wainscott going to the north side of the bell and bringing that number 10 car up to the number 95 car. As I just say that, and the line falls apart.
I swear they do that on purpose to us up here at the Tony Perpasso Memorial booth at times. But I am just this is a good note to take in right now, folks, for you guys watching along at home here, right on our SRM's YouTube channel. Typically, 9.5 times out of 10, when you have multiple cars working together in a lane, that should be faster than a less amount of cars, or for, in this case example, Melton and Honeycutt, who are using the black hole right now, which is something typically you don't want to do. It's frowned upon. However, those two cars, even with the damage to the front of Honeycutt's Camry there, are still able to have enough pace with those two cars working together to hold off the high side and the bottom lane. That's really impressive, if you ask me, bud.
Oh, it is. But meanwhile, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do right now, Matt, we're gonna go ahead, go side by side, take a little breather. We gotta take our pit stop too here. We're gonna go side by side. You won't miss a thing here live on Sim Racing Media. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Imagine a theater experience so real you're part of the action. Breakthrough technology that shakes your seat at precisely the right moment so you can feel the action on the screen. Choose 4D Cinemas powered by Butt Kicker for the ultimate theater experience. And for the ultimate in movies, gaming, and sports at home, add your own Butt Kicker. A simple, wireless, affordable device that takes just seconds to install. Text the word on the screen right now to receive a special offer. Get Butt Kicker and feel what you've been missing.
Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Alan Bergen and Matt Mettler with you here tonight as we're working lap number 48. We are just south of St. Louis here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Booth. And Matt, you know, we've had everything. Even your cat has made an appearance in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Booth. Not in the way that you want it to, but we even got the, you know, look, things happen for a reason, right? And Tony Trapasso just had that sense of humor about him, and he shows up in different ways. And he got Dave one night, and he gets you tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he got me, and also, well, I don't have to trim my nose hairs now for the next 6 months.
I didn't know you had nose hair. I didn't know you were old enough to have nose hair.
I had to think of something to say. Oh. How about that 95? That Cheetos machine starting to turn up the heat now as he's pushing Andrew Teff, the head cook, chief, and bottle washer, to the front of this piece. Farthest he's been up. In fact, I take that back. He now leads here at Talladega for the first time tonight. Biggest mover of the race, up 12 positions from where he started.
We have 25 laps left to go here at Talladega. So far, this is shaping out to be one of those classic Matt and Alan broadcasts where I don't know why they don't want to wreck when we're in the booth, but I don't want to jinx it either. Here comes Hugh Escobar bringing that Reese's Peanut Butter Cups car up to the front, up where Mama hides the cookies on the top shelf. And right now, Chris Melton has no help from his friends. He definitely has Brandon Honeycutt, and I would imagine Brandon Honeycutt will probably use that fast repair when he goes down pit road, just riding it out until that pit stop. But then again, you know, with these Gen 4 cars, Matt, a little damage could help him out aerodynamically.
I'll tell you what, he almost had a lot of damage as he almost administered an offset push there to the 49. I got worried those two were both going to go up there and howitzer the wall. But, you know, getting to your point on Melton, I mean, just moments ago, I mean, we had 2 to 3 car length separation between Melton and the 13 of Honeycutt, and he just went down there and played the side draft like a fiddle, and was able to maintain there right on the side of the 95 there. And Honeycutt utilizing the draft. Remember, the draft is much more effective in this car than the next-gen car. About 0.5, 0.6 tenths of a second. The next-gen, game over. But not in this car. It's almost about a second if you ask me. And now that outside lane is formed back up. Let's see if the 13 can work with the 49 here and dethrone Andrew Teff, who continues to lead and also currently the biggest mover of the race.
You're not wrong there. Well, I have to say where, you know, if you get on an airplane, your ears will pop. Mine do that automatically. So if I don't respond right away, chances are I have to yawn to get my ears to pop. But you're right, Andrew Teff up 12 spots, your biggest mover of the race, and his best lap was a 47.90. I mean, these guys are hauling the mail, Matt. I mean, as we're going to go ahead and get pit stops underway one more time.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, you mentioned popping, big things popping, little things stopping as the Reese's Pieces car now becomes Pieces. Or Reese's Peanut Butter Cups now becomes Pieces as he put it in the fence. Little self-inflicted concrete poisoning there for the 29 ride. That is going to unfortunately cost him the benefit of the draft, as he's now going to find himself in the danger zone without a battle buddy. And how about that 11 machine down there? I almost did it again.
Easy there, Chris. Easy there, buddy. Matt, be nice.
Oh, he's still trying to force it up there, and he does. He shoves himself. Barely clears the 49 of Melton. Now the 2 is going to slide up in front as well. Talk about getting skinny. I mean, we still have north of 20 laps to go in this one.
Well, if you think this is exciting, join us. Same bat time, different bat channel, or same bat channel, different bat time. As these guys will do it all over again tomorrow in the next gen car with Liam Irving and Shane Lake on their call tomorrow. Tomorrow evening also is ECR Elite Cup Racing Championship night for them guys. And Sunday you can join Matt Metler and his work wife. Or wait, that would be his work husband, Dave Regal, as they bring you all the action from Las Vegas Sunday evening on the SNN Stacy Strong Cup Series. And then Dave Regal will be back Monday for the Monday Night NASCAR, and then it is wheels up for the SRM team as they are headed to South Florida. And then, then all hell breaks loose here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth or studio, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah, speaking of that, you want to join the family, it's simple. Like Alan was saying, smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to the family. That brings you 7 nights of high-flying, high-octane racing action, your esports sim racing leader right here on Sim Racing Media. Oh, they're starting to get some boogie underneath the hoodie. We are almost 3 abreast there. The 13 and 11 decided to check it down the lane, and they got a steam coming. Here comes the 13, damage and all, as he's closing back in on the bumper.
He found something.
I'm telling you, when that 49 and that 13 get hooked up, they just got another gear in those cars.
That damage, when he caught the wall, when he caught that car, I think it helped him because it it got that fender out of the air.
Well, it got the fender out of the air, which reduces the side force and the down force, but now you have a corner of that Goodyear Eagle poking out in all that air. I thought maybe that would hinder the performance on that race car or increase the drag. However, I don't think we've seen Honeycutt out in front leading a train yet with that damage. But I think when it's tucked in behind somebody like he is right now, it's really improved the performance of that car when he is in traffic like he is right now, as he was able to get the 49 up there, no problem. In fact, they almost hung the 2 out there to drive. Hold on to it, buddy. A McSwirly coming out of the trioval to the start-finish line. He had his hands full.
A McSwirly. Meanwhile, next Sunday afternoon, if you're in Miami and you want to meet the voices behind the SRM crew, they'll be at the Miami Homestead Speedway. Be sure if you see anybody in an SRM shirt, say hi, take a picture, and let them know that Alan and Matt sent you.
That's right. Let them know Alan and Matt sent you. And I'm telling you, that 29 car who looks like he hit a parking block there in a Walmart parking lot, pug face administered to the front of that race car. That is acting like a snow plow on the front of a Mack truck. And he is fighting for his life, trying to hang on to the back of this lead draft here right now. As Andrew Teff continues to shine here in Earnhardt country. The 95 at Chase Greer with him, Kirby, Wayne Scott on the bottom lane as well. Now you've seen one of the Dew Crew guys starting to make his way up to the front there in the 14 machine as well. So starting to see some of these guys, you can feel the anticipation. We're turning up the dial on the excitometer as we're already working lap 60, or we will be this time by at the line, which means we're about to see the intensity start to really kick up here on the racetrack, Alan.
Turn the dial up to 11. We're going to get crazy. It's getting hectic. It's getting crazy. It's getting hectic. It's getting wild. Do you like what I did there?
I like what you did there. And with all that going on, one of the favorites at the drop of the green flag, at least for me, we've seen a lot of him in the early going of this race, Greg McConey, who is now in that 8th place position.
He's right back there, mired in that 8th position. And Andrew Tuft is coming. They're coming up on that second group. And I hate to say it, but I think Greg McConey's going to be in danger of going a lot down here as we got 15 laps to go.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with this. Only 15 laps to go. So that time's starting to dwindle down here.
As I like to say, that the sands of the hourglass are starting to run out for, Greg McConey and company. But here comes Chris Blasi. He's hanging tough in that lead group, and he's the one lap down. He's trying to get his lap back the hard way. And the only way he knows how, and that was before the lucky dogs, that was race your way up to the front and then hope for caution.
Which he is praying for, doing the rain dance, everything, to get a yellow flag inside the cockpit of that race car, because clearly he has the speed to contend. And you see Andrew Kean up there on the radio, or at least I can on my end. I believe that's probably going to signal, Alan, another round of green flag pit stops, as we don't have enough go fast in these tanks to make it to the end.
And that would be an absolute godsend for some of these drivers. As right now, Troy Thomas would be the next car to go a lap down, as he is in that second group, and that group there is in danger of going one lap down. And we're going to go to that group there. There it is. And we're going to try to pan here, maybe get you a better view of what I like to call the eyeball test as well. Just as I say that, okay.
Top 5 drivers just came down pit road.
Oh, goodness gracious. Here we go. The flying V formation.
I was going to say the same thing. Looked like something out of the Mighty Ducks. And you know what, Alan? Oh, God, a disastrous pit stop for the 2 as he blew his box and everything. I mean, he sent that car all the way to Kansas.
Wholesale
I was
pit
just
stop.
going to say that pit stop there could easily win or lose you the race, as that's going to, be probably the most critical piece of racing on pit road, perhaps under green flag conditions, as we now wait to see this group being led by Troy Thomas when they deploy down pit road. As he's got Truth Hoke working with him in the 55. You can also find the man, the myth, the legend, Greg McConey there in the 12. In the 61, Rowan Lloyd carries up the caboose.
I mean, this is a strong pack of cars. And, there it is, the 55 and the 3 hooked up. Trying to get back up to the front and be at least in the same piece of real estate as the rest of this field.
Well, they're catching them quick, fast, and in a hurry. You can see that differential bleeding down to just about nothing as those cars coming up through the gearbox. The difference is this group of 4 cars, they are at race pace right now, over 200 miles an hour.
And Greg McConey is coaching these guys along the whole time. 12 laps to go.
I'll tell you what, my heart breaks there for the 95. He was running such a good race there. Something happened on that pit stop. Perhaps maybe involving, with the 2 machine. That's why he was way outside of his pit box there, up against the fence. But he's going to latch on here to the back of the 61, but he was in that lead pack. Now he's going to find himself in that 9th place position, just inside the top 10, as we now have 64 laps officially written in the history books here from Talladega.
And, okay, showing Stephen Hines crashed on live timing. We're going to stay green. Let's see what happened to Stephen Hines here. As,
he just smokes him all the way.
He was on the binders for sure.
Did he just bail out of the race?
I think he did.
Yeah, he's probably more upset than I am up here in the booth. He had such a good run. Here we go. Hoke pokes his nose down. Did he just go down pit road by himself in the 55?
No. Oh,
Miscommunication there with this group of cars. The 55 thought everyone was coming down that time, and suddenly he gets left like a red-headed stepchild, point blank in broad daylight, as no one comes down pit road with the 55.
and here comes this group, 10 laps to go. Right now, Troy Thomas is the fuel pig. Greg McConey is in Troy's ear. Stay with him, Troy. Stay with Greg McConey. Do exactly what he tells you to do. And yes, I'm a little biased, just like Dave is. So I don't have the ability to text Troy Thomas.
Well,
Look,
I'll tell you what.
You know,
Right now, go ahead.
there's 3 people mid-race. If we do something stupid, Dave Regal will text me, you, and Gangler.
This is true. Well, here's how this story's playing out. The nitrous cowboy there has the whole 200 shot being lit right now. They're going to come to the outside of the racetrack, try to slingshot. Oh, McConey got into the fence. Lloyd almost turned the 12. That's going to cost him a ton of momentum. But they should still now be in the draft's clutches of that group in front of them. And now here comes Thomas. Looks to, oh, don't get caught side drafting each other, guys. You want to make that exchange quick. Back in line, there we go. As Troy Thomas just turned the fastest lap of the race. I told you he had the nitrous engaged. 47.63 out of that good wrench machine. Doing Earnhardt Nation proud out there on the racetrack. What a lap by Thomas.
And you can listen to all the Earnhardt Nation guys, all the excitables, and oh my goodness.
A 47.63, that's an exciting lap time. I knew he was on it. I just didn't realize he had it turned up to kill that lap.
We're going to get cranked up to crazy. 8 laps to go. Here comes Troy Thomas. He is now back there in that 5th position. He's got Chris Blasi ahead of him. And this is what Troy Thomas wanted to see as the 2-car Stephen Hines back on the racetrack. You know, Matt,
Hines got Hawk to it on that deal.
a little too much Hawk and a little less to it next time.
But he had a great run going as well there in the 2. But look at this. Thomas continues to turn it up on the racetrack, propelling that inside line. In fact, the 49 and the 13 of Honeycutt may abandon their plan and try to get down to the bottom. Honeycutt had a split decision there. He hesitated, and oftentimes that can spell disaster. The 49 of Melton cut him a break and let him back up top to the high side of the racetrack. Now it's a John Force special between the 11 and the 3, going up against the 49 and the 13 on the high side.
Troy Thomas just needs to ride in line behind Chris Blasi. Chris Blasi needs to help him out. As right now, Troy Thomas being scored in 2nd position. Coming down the back straightaway, 6 laps to go. We're going to be 5 flanges in air. Troy Thomas to the lead. We might see something special here, Matt, as we're coming to 5 laps to go.
5 laps to go. Thomas has really now turned up the intensity out there on the racetrack. The furthest forward that good wrench Chevrolet has been all race long. And the usual suspects all making their way back to the point. Brandon Honeycutt right there with Melton right on cue. Big time push from the 3 to the back bumper of the 11 as they shoot off into the turns 3 and 4 complex. And all of this going on, where is McConey? He is now still in that 8th place position, but he is now with the lead pack. And just as I say that, him and Truth Hope dialing it up the annexation of Puerto Rico as they turn it up to the high side lane, trying to join that pack.
Here comes Troy Thomas bringing up the bottom line. He's got Rowan Lloyd with him. We got 5 laps to go. We're coming to 4 laps to go out of the 3-4 complex. Into the triumphal area as right now Chris Blasi doing everything he can. And you wondered about what would happen to Brandon Honeycutt when he became the lead car in that outside line. Well, guess what? Him and Chris Melton are doing Honeycutt and Melton type things as Wow. Chris Bozzi is jamming Troy Thomas right now.
Oh, he was. That was a little more than that. But he talked about Honeycutt's race car. That damage is gone. So either he burned a fast repair. He had to have, because, I mean, that was a green flag pit stop. You're not going to be sitting around in your pit stall to fix damage on the race car. But the front of that Camry is showroom perfect once again. And great timing, because I don't think he'd have the speed in that race car leading that outside lane if he wasn't able to fix that damage. And look who's doing some side drafting. Here comes McCody. No help, no problem, as he's going to pull off a Louisville slider on the side draft special. He's trying to go for the lead on the high side.
Greg McConey looking for the 3-for-1 special. And coming down that back straightaway, we are 3 wide. 4 to the lead. Troy Thomas all the way back to 4th right now.
And knocking on the back door, it's not delivery, it's Truth Hoke in the 55 as he joins forces with McConey on the top shelf of the racetrack.
Mama's definitely hiding the cookies, but Mama's also hiding Greg McConey up there also.
Mama's probably saying, Hail Mary, full of grace, don't let Troy Thomas wreck out of this race.
Come on, Troy, you got this. 2 laps to go from Talladega. Popsicle sticks in the air.
I'll tell you what, instantaneously, Talladega things start to happen, and all the names we referenced at the top of this broadcast, they are all here throwing their hat into the ring to see who can win this 200-mile-an-hour slugfest here at Talladega.
Come on, Troy. Come on, buddy. Stick that inside line.
Oh, the 55 and the 49 of Melton made contact. That's going to either jam the outside lane just a little bit there. They're going to lose a little bit of momentum, but they're going to have a run coming here.
Popsicle sticks go down. The white flag comes up. And ladies and gentlemen, we're racing back to checkered flag.
It's been a lean, mean green flag special from the drop of the checkered, or the drop of the green flag. We're going to go one more time around this 2.66 mile super speedway. 3 lanes across, looking like the Blue Angels at an air show, is now McConey surges to the lead. He got a huge run. Where did he get that run from? I don't believe it. Is McConey now suddenly turning and leading the last lap of leading his first lap of the race?
Thomas. Here comes Troy Thomas
on the bottom. McConey's going to throw the block. Honeycutt gets big time loose. He's going to go up to the high side of the racetrack. No one goes with the 98. Coming off of turn 4.
Troy's got to try something. And it's going to be...
Photo finish at the line. Who's got the push at the end? Timing and scoring has Honeycutt, but I'm going to confirm that with iRacing, as that was too close to call from the booth. iRacing official timing and scoring has Brandon Honeycutt as the winner over McConey by Alan 2/1000ths of a second.
Well, here we go. We're going to... from the chopper review.
People ask me why I love Talladega. This is why, because it produces epic finishes time and time again. Brandon Honeycutt literally edging out McConey by a fraction of a nose.
And
how about these drivers tonight, man? Going green, I mean, flag to flag coverage, all under, wide open track conditions. What a job by all 15 of these competitors tonight. They put on one heck of a show, Alan.
They did. And what a finish by Brandon Honeycutt. As we're going to start getting these guys up here to the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth here, and we can talk to some of these guys here. And
I'll tell you what, I mean, I could have went another 75 laps watching those guys race out there. They put on one heck of a show tonight. They really did. Brandon Honeycutt on the last lap also had the top speed of the race. Not the fastest lap, but he had that car almost going 213 miles an hour.
I don't see Brandon Honeycutt in here, but maybe.
You take a look there on pit road as well, as he could be celebrating with his team.
And I don't see Kristen Melton either. As my wonderful wife said, that was intense.
It was intense, and perhaps those drivers throwing on the oxygen mask for a minute before they join us up here for their post-race interview.
Well, we do got one driver up here, and Matt, I'll let you talk to your buddy Greg, who just happened to be finishing second place.
Greg McConey, Matt and Alan up in the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth. You got a copy there, brother.
Yeah, what's up, boys?
Matt, you're what's up, man. First of all, I want to point this out. The top of the race, I listed a couple veteran drivers that really know this Gen 4 race car and knows how to use it to their advantage. And my God, did you display everything I love about that Gen 4 car out there on the racetrack? You almost won this, man. You lost by 2/1000ths of a second. A great battle between yourself and Brandon Honeycutt. How were you able to put the pieces together to, one, put on such a thrilling performance, and two, come home with a solid second-place finish?
Oh, man, that was all thanks to the guys running in the Outsiders channel. Rowan, Steven, Troy, Truth, Chris, all those guys that were with us. That was a total team effort to get us all up there, and then the push that I was getting from Troy at the end, and Chris doing trying to get to my rear bumper on that last lap, and Truth pushing me all the way around those last few on the high side, just the two of us. Man, that was all thanks to them. You know, it was a great team effort all the way around, and I'm still shaking, man. That was awesome.
That was one heck of a race. I was telling Alan before we pulled you up in the booth, I could have called another 75 laps. I mean, that was just a beautiful demonstration out there on the racetrack. And, you know, Greg, you're reading my mind. You mentioned that was a team effort, a group effort. You know, what does it take? Obviously, you have to have friends out here at these super speedways to obviously win or, you know, finish inside the money, which you certainly did. But how were you able to work with your team and put a plan together and execute it the way you guys did tonight?
Yeah, we were talking all night long, the 5 of us or 6 of us that were all down there, just, you know, trying to figure it out. I kind of screwed up the strategy a little bit at the beginning. I thought we could do it on one stop, so I kind of gave up the lead there for a while and fell back to save a little bit of fuel. And then the guys reminded me my math was quite wrong. But no, after that, it was all of us just working together. And then when we pitted ahead of everybody else, we just needed to cycle the 4 of us as best as we could, making sure whenever one of us was getting hot, we were cycling them back. Truth had a little bit of damage, so we cycled him at the start of that run, and from there it was just a great week of it, or a great race of all of us talking and communicating, and then whoever was in the back was calling out how far back to the leaders. So we just talked the whole time. That's what it takes with this. You talk and you get your guys that you know and you trust and you know can help you push those boundaries a little bit, and that's what that group did.
You know, Greg, I mean, thank you so much for breaking down really what type of a group effort it takes, you know, at these types of racetrack. Yes, I understand you're the one up here in the booth right now with, you know, the second place finish, but without the great execution and those well-versed and, you know, just quite frankly, darn good race car drivers there with you out on the racetrack tonight, you know, this type of performance would have been a lot more difficult and challenging for you up there, or I should say down there on the racetrack. Before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 12th?
Yeah, it was a total team effort by the guys running in that Outsiders chat. That was a great job with them. I got to thank Troy for giving me that push late. Truth, once again, for sticking with me on that high side and us just letting this car roll and doing what we need to do. But it not just a team effort. This was a whole league effort that was incredible. 75 laps in these cars is very, very difficult to run in general.
Sure.
And the fact that we did it going green the entire way was fantastic. And we had the field together pretty much that whole time. So huge shout out to them, Andrew and the guys that put this league on. Thank you to them. I love being able to come out and race with them, as well as to my actual sponsor, Magical Mama's Creations and Collectibles. That is my wife's new company that she started, selling all of her crafts and some of her collectible Disney and other collectible items. You can find her at Magical Mama on Whatnot. She actually just had a show live here a little while ago, and she has another show on Monday where she's selling a bunch of stuff and doing a couple giveaways. So absolutely shout out to Magical Mama's Creations and Collectibles. Find them on Whatnot. Go check her out. Follow her. She's going to be live Monday at 8:45, giving a show. Her Fridays are Craft With Me, also live at 8:45 Eastern. So huge shout out to them. Boffman Excavating, the family that I know watches. You guys in the booth, you guys put on a great show. This is one I'm really excited to go back and watch because this was a fun race from the drop of the green flag, man.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, Greg and the rest of McConey Mafia executing beautifully out there on the racetrack. They were locked in, ready to rock, and they showed up here, propelling Greg to a second place finish here at the Big Country. That is the driver of the 12, Greg McConey. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth. I'm going to send it back over to you, Alan.
Yeah, as we go ahead and get him back down to the Outsiders chat. Matt, you know what? We are 2 for 2 on green flag races here.
It's a thing, man. We just bring the vibe.
I mean, another night, another 75 laps, 2 for 2. We're batting 1,000, if you will. But before we get out of here ourselves, let's go over that final rundown as Brandon Honeycutt and Chris Melton have declined the interview. They want to go start drinking beer now. But nonetheless, here's how they finished up. Brandon Honeycutt picking up the win. Greg McConey picking up second position. Chris Melton finishing and rounding out your podium. Troy Thomas out of Boone, North Carolina, finishes fourth, while Andrew Tessel rounds out the top 5. Hudson, Illinois' own Rowan Lloyd will finish 6th. 7th will go to Kirby Wainscott. Chase Greer finished 8th. 9th will go to Chris Blasi, and Truth holding down at 10th position. 11th will go to Trevor McGee. Pete Poloni will finish 12th. 13th will go to Hugh Escobar. Stephen Hines will finish in that 14th position, while Terry Fennell will win the race to the beer stand. And Matt Mettler having an out-of-body experience up here in the booth with me. And Matt, what a race here tonight, as my wife, my beautiful wife, said, holy ish, that was intense. And, Matt, thanks for joining me up here in the broadcast booth. I couldn't have thought of anybody better to join me. Tomorrow evening, catch Liam Irving and Shane Lake as they bring you installment number 2, same bat channel, different bat time, different bat cars. And also Saturday night, you can catch myself and Colin McDonough as we bring you the ECR Championship race from Charlotte, North Carolina. But as you walk through the streets of life, as the great Tony Trapasso would say, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.